Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick post-fight analysis video. All right, y'all. Veta Arteaga versus Desiree Yanez. I had to go back and watch this fight here, man, because I was in and out the first time. I caught the tail end of the third round, I think. I watched the first round, but I missed the second round, and then I came back and watched the tail end of the third round, so I had to go back and watch it. And yeah, man, I was impressed with Desiree. I was impressed with Veta Arteaga in this fight. I was really impressed with what I seen, compared to some of her last fights. Definitely seems some improvements as far as her striking and her punch selection. She's doing a lot better in there, and she's one of those gritty fighters. So if you just add a little bit more technique to her, I think she'll be a very dangerous fighter in there. As y'all know, this was Desiree Yanez, her debut in Bellator. I seen some moments where she could have capitalized on Arteaga's offense, where she was coming straight in. All she needed was that straight jab in this fight. She threw it out a few times, but she didn't throw it out enough. And I feel like if she established a good jab, she probably could have won some rounds and made this fight a lot more competitive. But Veta Arteaga, she just went in there and dominated. Aside from the point deduction in the second round from Veta Arteaga, I feel like she pretty much would have won a 30-27 fight. But real quick, going back and looking at the first round, right away, Veta Arteaga, she punched her way in. She landed some nice shots, some nice good power shots on Desiree Yanez. So Desiree Yanez went straight in for those underhooks. She went to clinch, slow down that pressure. But as they broke, Veta Arteaga went right back to putting hands on Desiree. She started landing that big left hook. She shook Desiree with that left hook. And I'd say like maybe 1 minute in, you could already see that Veta Arteaga was making some nice improvements. She was already landing some good shots, and she was already getting into a groove. Already showing some nice feints, good leg kicks, landing on Desiree just with no head movement at all from Desiree. So, she was just coming straight in and she couldn't miss. Desiree at the range, to me, I feel like she was just really respecting Veta Arteaga too much. She wasn't establishing that jab. Whatever Veta Arteaga was throwing, it was landing. She was landing some nice leg kicks and some right hands. Desiree was staying on the back foot. A few times she was able to slow down the attack with her own jab, but she would kind of abandon. She would abandon that jab. But for the most part, I feel like the first round was just all Veta Arteaga. She was just landing good leg kicks, feints, and like I said, the better power shots. Desiree, she tried to end the round with the takedown, but not much happened, so it was Desiree's round. Second round, Veta went back with more pressure. Desiree was looking to stick her jab out more, but she was bringing it back lazy. So when she brought that last jab back lazy, Veta Arteaga, she drops Desiree with a counter right hand. She came over the top with that right hand and dropped her. She gets on that top position, but Desiree, she's able to scramble back up, only to get pressed onto the fence by Veta Arteaga and taken back down. Veta gets back in that position, putting that weight on her, trying to get that rear naked choke. And Veta Arteaga, she eats a couple of shots somewhere in between there because she starts bleeding. And the one thing I can say about that is Veta Arteaga is like the only fighter that can come out looking busted up like the loser, but she'll be the winner. I meant to say that at the beginning because that's how I looked in this fight. She looked busted up a bit with the cut over the brow, but, she's the fighter that's the winner. So it's almost like how much punishment she takes, and that'll tell you who the winner of the fight is. But as they got back to their feet, Veta Arteaga, she stood up, and Desiree was still touching the mat with one hand. So Veta Arteaga, she lands two knees, and she didn't see it. I guess she didn't see it because she was leaning over Desiree. So when Veta lands those two knees, the ref, he steps in, breaks him up. I knew it wasn't unintentional. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional knees, but he took a point. I really wouldn't have taken a point at, because I would have gave her a hard warning. I would have gave her a hard warning because I feel like, the way they were positioned, she couldn't see it. And I guess she thought she was standing as well. But, the referee took the point. Either way, Veta, she goes back to controlling, landing, and just controlling the fight. 9-9 round. It was a 9-9 round. The last round, Veta, she comes in, landing again, opening up on Desiree, just landing some good shots. Desiree, she tries to time one of the rushes. She gets a takedown. She winds up on top position. Can't get much done again, so Veta, she kicks her off. She kicks her off with both feet, goes back to that pressure. Veta mauls her in the clinch. And in that clinch, both fighters are landing good knees. They are landing some good knees, but Desiree, she was able to land some strikes off the back foot here. And this is what she needed to do in the beginning of the fight. But Veta striking, I feel like it was much more effective. She was landing that nice jab to the body. She landed a pair of clean right hands that I had to mention in this round because when she landed those rounds, she landed those two right hands in this round. You could really hear that smack on the chin here. So I got to give Desiree credit because, she was taking these shots well. She was taking these shots well. Desiree, she was able to press in for the clinch a couple of times, but nothing really coming as far as work in the clinch. Overall, I feel like Veta just stayed on it. She never stopped striking, and she just kept on coming. That controlled pressure, good punch selection in this fight. 2-1 for Veta in one even round, you know, because of the point taken. But overall, it was just a pretty much dominant performance by Veta Arteaga. Yeah, man. So from here, I like the improvements I've seen from Veta Arteaga. So from here, I'm sure this is going to push her up the rankings. I like to see her in there with maybe Kate Jackson. Who knows? They might put her in there with kind of Watanabe next. You know, if Watanabe doesn't get like a title eliminator shot, you might see Veta Arteaga in there. So I think that would be a good explosive fight. You know, I do got to say that Veta Arteaga's striking is much better than Conor Watanabe. So we'll see how that goes. And then when they get into the clinch, that would be an explosive fight. You know, that would be strength for strength. But I would have to give Veta Arteaga the edge, just because I feel like her striking is a little bit better than Conor Watanabe. As for Desiree Yanez, definitely want to see her go back to the drawing board, you know, work on some things. You know, definitely got to work on that head movement. I don't know if she should be a flyweight. You know, she was looking a little bit smaller than Arteaga in there. You know, maybe she needs to be a strawweight, but we'll see. Combo Breaker 99, let me know if y'all saw the fight. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.